Hello, my creeplings. We all know what day it is, and I can't think of anything better to review on Friday the 13th in October than one of the OG 80s slashers, the original Friday the 13th. This was directed by Sean S. Cunningham and written by Victor Miller, released in 1980. This is one of the earliest 80s slashers, and it has spawned a huge franchise. It's known for its amazing effects by effects master Tom Savini. He's known for, the original Dawn of the Dead, directed by Romero. He did a remake of Dawn of the Dead where he was the director. Creepshow, the original film, and I believe he came back for the second one. He's done a lot, and he's probably one of the leaders in the special effects makeup world, especially for gore effects. But getting into the story, we have a summer camp getting ready to open. Unfortunately, this summer camp has seen some nastiness in its past. Some counselors were killed. Nobody really knows why. Camp closed down. Guy named Mr. Christie, can't remember his first name, opens it, brings in a bunch of, we're going to say early college age counselors to get it open. At this point, there are no kids, which is a good thing. We follow one of the soon-to-be camp employees. I believe her name is Annie. She's hitchhiking. There's your first mistake, girlfriend. To get to the camp. She hits the town that's right outside of the camp, and she's warned off by the town crazy, who I believe his name is Ralph. You know, the town drunk that gets a little too much in him and starts spouting off, Jesus told me I'm here to deliver, that kind of stuff. Poor girl don't make it. She is one of our first victims. We also follow in 3 other counselors, one of which is played by a young Kevin Bacon in one of his very early film roles. So he, again, I'm sorry with the notes thing. He is playing a character named Jack. He's with his friend Ned. Ned's an annoying prick. I'm just gonna say it. The guy's always joking, and not just like funny haha jokes. Like, he pretends to drown later so he can make out with a girl. It's that kind of, he's somebody's friend. Probably been somebody's friend since high school or elementary school. And he's still along for the ride, and you're all wondering, why are we still friends with this guy? Do we feel sorry for him? Do we know he's got better qualities? I don't know. So Ned's really annoying. I want to say that Marcy is the girlfriend of Kevin Bacon's character. Those 3 show up. They talk to Mr. Christie. They meet another one of the soon-to-be counselors named Alice. She's having second thoughts about staying. Christie convinces her to stay one more week. And if by next Friday you don't want to do this anymore, I'll put you on the bus myself. We've got a handyman named Bill. He's actually played by Bing Crosby's son, so a little nepotism going on there. And then there's Brenda, is another one of the counselors. I think I covered just about everybody there. Christie goes into town. They're still setting stuff up. There's a whopper of a storm brewing. So as the night goes on, they kind of all separate off. I want to say it's Bill, Brenda, and Alice end up playing strip Monopoly in the main cabin. Ned has disappeared. You find out what happened to Ned later. Marcy and I can never remember his name. Kevin Bacon's character go off and do what stupid teens do in horror movies, and they start getting it on. And that covers just about everybody that's left at camp. One by one, these kids keep getting picked off. We've got some great kills in this one. We've got an axe to the head. We've got an arrow through the back of the neck coming up through a bed. That's a good one. I know how that effect was done because Tom Savini did a book on some of his early work, and kind of gave away the gags. I believe it's called Grand Illusions. If you can find it, it's a good read. Talks about his early career, and it's kind of set up as a how-to book for budding effects artists. There's a few projects in there for you to do. I read it years and years ago. It's great. So they're all picked off one by one. Even Mr. Christie when he comes back. Now all that we're left with is our final girl, Alice. Alice realizes everybody's dead, and she starts panicking. Well, she sees what she thinks is Mr. Christie's Jeep come up. She runs out. Oh my God, everyone's dead. It's not Mr. Christie. It's a woman named Pamela Voorhees, who claims she's a friend of the Christies and used to work at the summer camp. You get this kind of weird feeling when you start talking, when Alice starts talking to her, and you can tell Alice does too. But the long and the short of it is, I mean, everybody knows that this is the twist. Pamela Voorhees is crazy, and she's the killer. She killed those 2 counselors way back before the camp closed. She's picking them off now because her son, Jason, drowned in the lake. And she blames them, and she's just gone completely off the deep end. We've got a bunch of great chase scenes. The stunts in this film are actually really, really good. You get to the end. Alice survives. She's one of our final girls. But you get a Carrie-esque jump scare at the end. And then we go to the calm of she's in the hospital, and we close the movie. I know that's really making it simplistic, but I don't want to, give you the order of all the kills and who dies how. That's part of the journey with this, and I really hope if you haven't seen this, if you've only seen the remake or any of the sequels, I'm sorry, you really do need to watch the first one to really kind of get the feel of where this all started. This is a really good example of the early slasher genre. Before this, you had Halloween, which I believe started it all, and there was another one that's considered one of the early ones, but this was like right there. This also came out like the same year that The Shining did, and a bunch of other big movies, and this actually made a decent amount of money up against these movies. It was a sleeper hit. It was one of the first independent films picked up by Paramount to be distributed internationally. It did that well. Again, I go back to the effects. When they transferred it from the old standard definition video to HD, now some of the effects look cheesy because they don't have CGI to clear it up, but they're still really convincing and really good. You do see boobs. So, trigger warning or child warning. Like, if you got a 15-year-old boy who really wants to watch this, I'm warning you, you do see boobs. Not for very long, but they're there. There's a lot of suggestiveness in it. So, again, just putting that out there to be part of the warning. The music in this one is very, very interesting. The composer, his last name is Manfredi. You only hear music when the actual killer is there. And he makes perfect use of strings as stingers. So, kind of like Psycho in a way, that music. I'm not going to say it's exactly like Psycho. It's kind of like he watched Psycho and he watched Jaws, got some ideas from that, and then put it in the blender in his head and got it out as the score for this. It does a very good job of building tension and making you think. So next time, if you've watched this a couple times, next time you watch it, just listen for the musical cues. When there's no music, everything's, we're okay. When there's music, that means the killer's there. Very good. Like I said, this spawned an entire franchise. 11 movies, I think? I know we had 8 up to Jason Takes Manhattan. And then I know for sure 8. I want to say it was like either 9 or 10 because there was also Jason Goes to Hell. And what was Jason in Space? Jason X? So maybe 10? That would be 9 and 10 right there. Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X. So yeah, 10. He's right up there with, the icons of the slasher genre. He stands, shoulder to shoulder with Mike Myers, Freddy Krueger, the tall man from Phantasm. He's been played by, but he's not in this one. That's the interesting part about this. This starts without Jason, but everybody thinks this is the most iconic. They get it mixed up. Friday the 13th Part 2 is where we really start getting into that icon. But it wouldn't have gotten there without this film, without Sean Cunningham, and the team behind it. I'm going to say, I know I don't usually do star reviews, but this one is definitely, if I'm going to give a 5-star review for something, for range, I'm going to go for 4 out of 5 stars. It does lag a few spots, and it is a bit predictable. If you're a big fan of the slasher genre, still a good popcorn movie. Still a good way to spend a Friday the 13th or a Halloween season. Don't watch them on television. They neuter them. Get the DVD. Watch it on streaming. Find the unrated version. Now this one, if you have an old VHS, it's the rated R cut. And then you find the unrated version that's not much different. There's like 11 seconds worth of footage added back in for the unrated. You're good either way on that one. But with the DVDs, there's also a lot of special features that are always nice to watch. So if you're a fan of Tom Savini, if you're a fan of slasher films, if you're a fan of just early 80s movies, yeah, pick this up if you have not seen it yet. I eventually will go through the entire series. I'm just not going to do that right now. And I may use this one to do a contrast and compare with the remake. Because the remake I have seen, it was interesting. I want to say it was attempted a soft reboot for the new millennium, but we all know how soft reboots did in the new millennium. We were so flooded with them that it kind of lost its novelty. I think I'm done. I think on that note, I'm going to say good night, my creeplings. Just a side note, I'm trying out some new lighting here, and I know you can see a lot of reflections in my glasses. I do wear contacts, so I might start wearing those, or I'm going to refigure out my lighting situation. This is a learning curve for me, guys, just as much as it is for you. So if you have any suggestions, nice suggestions, please, you know where the comment section is. So thanks, guys. Thanks for going along on this journey with me, too. I know I'm not a professional. These are all real quick and off the cuff and very, very unedited. I just like yapping about movies. And I really appreciate all of you that have watched them, left a comment, left a like on my social media. I do have a Twitter. If I remember, I'll link it below. I don't do much on it, but I do follow a lot of people. I'll retweet occasionally. So, or re-X. Don't get me started on that. But good night, creeplings. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next time.